get ready with me to film the most expensive video we will film on this YouTube channel. In this bag, I have quite a bit of Charlotte Tilbury in this makeup bag. I also have another bag of things that I've recently picked up from Sephora, so we are gonna get right into it. I'm gonna be doing my face like 99% Charlotte Tilbury today, so enjoy a full face of Charlotte Tilbury. We're gonna be moisturizing first with Charlotte's Magic Cream. I've been using this for probably 3 or 4 weeks. I really actually like how this works. I like that it has a ton of that initial beautiful hydration. I just use one of my little scoopers from an old Laneige moisturizer. I take a little bit of this, and what I do is I'll pop it on the quadrants of my face, as you see, and then I'll go in and I'll just start to massage around. This gives like a really beautiful immediate glow. This wears really well under foundation. My skin is combo dry. You can see the immediate glow and hydration it gives to the skin. My skin's a little pink naturally, so that will fade, don't worry. But I love how this feels. I love how it wears under my makeup. We're gonna give it a couple minutes to soak in and we'll be right back. While the moisturizer soaks in, I'm just going to shave the tails of my brows really quick using one of these like facial dermaplaning razors. So I did pick up the full-size Flawless filter. I got the shade 2, which is going to be slightly dark for me, but I think it's going to look good for giving me a little bit of color overall. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter for a Superstar Youth Glow. I don't know why people have recently started using this on social media as their foundation. I definitely think of this as like a good glowy priming step. I'm going to put quite a bit on because it will get extremely sheared out as we blend. And then I'm just going to go in with a duo fiber brush. This is an old BH Cosmetics brush. And I'm just going to start to blend that into the skin. You'll see, like I said, it was fine that it was a teeny bit dark on initial application because it is just going to give us that kind of glow. I'm having like PTSD from those dollar store bronzing drops, so I was getting really nervous that this was going to blend out funny, even though I've used this product before. I'm going to do a quick little bit of concealing on my jawline for my 5 o'clock shadow that pushes its way through because we're going to be using something that's a little lighter coverage than normal today, so I'll be right back. Next up, we're going in with the Charlotte Tilbury Unreal Skin Sheer Tint Foundation Stick. I have never used this product before. I swatched it in Sephora. I was really excited to try it. There are a couple foundation sticks that I have used previously. I got the shade 1 in this. I really enjoy like the Makeup Forever foundation stick. I really liked the one that Pure Cosmetics had a couple years back. So we're just going to go in and do a couple swipes of this and we're going to see where this takes us. It looks really, really glowy. This is the NYX Professional Makeup Brush number 3. I don't know if they still make this brush, but if they do, this is a beautiful, beautiful foundation brush. I really like how dense it is. I feel like it really blends the product a long way without giving you any weird streaks or any weird clumps of product. So we might be able to build up some coverage in some other ways, but we're gonna just keep blending this in. It is very, 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 very glowy. So if you are a glowy, no makeup diva, I think you would love this. Maybe I should have gotten shade number 2. The problem is my makeup when I get to this point always looks so fair. And then once I go in with like bronzer and blush and everything else, then it looks too dark for my neck. And right now I think that this is looking like a good match for my neck. It's just making my face look like crazy white. But maybe once we have other product on, it'll start to look normal again. This is what it looks like, one layer all over. Like I said, I did do that additional concealing at my jawline. I'm going to take a little bit more throughout my cheeks where I still see a little bit of redness popping through. And then I'm going to hit just the corners of my hairline. And then we're going to see how that builds. Not super buildable, but that's okay. We will figure it out. I think I may somewhere around my makeup room have one of the actual liquid foundations from Charlotte Tilbury. So I'm going to go look. I did a little look around. I did at one point in time purchase Charlotte's Beautiful Skin foundation. This is in the shade 1 Neutral. Do not know how old this is. I don't recall when I bought it, but I'm going to just be taking a little bit. Oh, it's literally never been used. Love that. I took it out of the box and then never tried it. I'm going to do one pump directly on that NYX Professional Makeup number 3 brush. We'll use that much and we'll see where it takes us. I like that this is starting to build up a little bit of coverage. I still like how glowy it is because I feel like my skin usually doesn't look this dewy, but I'm gonna continue to blend this in and then I'll be right back. This is what that foundation looks like all blended in with a brush. We're gonna go in with a sponge. This is the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. I'm just gonna use that to press everything in once again. Now that we have all of that blended in, I am going to go in with the contour wand. This is the shade Fair Medium. In all transparency, I have purchased this product before. I used an entire one before, and it is not my favorite product. I find that when I used it, I felt like it disappeared fairly quickly. I didn't really feel like it was a great, formula personally. But if this is one of your go-to products, that's great. I love that for you. I am going to make sure that it is switched to on, and then you have to squeeze to start priming the little sponge. My other issue with this is I feel like there's not a ton of product in here. When I did have it before, I feel like I ran through it fairly fast. I'm going to go ahead and switch it off so I don't continue to squeeze more product out, and we'll do a couple dots along the cheeks. I tend to go a little heavier with bronzer on my forehead since I don't have any hair, so I will do that, and then I'll pop a little on my nose as well. We'll maybe hit a teeny bit on the chin. And then I'm going to go in and blend this out with another dual fiber brush. My regular cream and liquid bronzing brush is the MAC Cosmetics 188 brush. I'm going to take this and I'm just going to use that to start to blend out that contour wand. Once again, this was in the shade Fair Medium. I'm fairly certain this is the shade that I used last time because when I bought it last time, it was before the shade expansion. This blends out fairly fine. I feel like this is showing up a little bit more than it did the last time I used it, so maybe that was user error. Once I have this all blended out, I'll go in and I'll conceal, and then we'll do blush, and then we'll move on to powder products. I used a little too much on my nose, but that's okay. Once again, at this point, when makeup is still in its cream and liquid malleable state, I feel like it is easier to fix than anything set down. So if you go a little crazy at this point, don't worry, because this can be fixed. I'm going to go in with my sponge that I used for that last minute foundation press. And I'm going to use whatever products immediately left on the sponge to soften the edges of my forehead here. This is so much dewier and glowier than I'm used to, so that does feel a little bit foreign to me. Because I feel like I typically like to be a little more hydrated, and then I like to powder down, and I feel like this is still so glowy and so dewy. It definitely makes me feel like my skin looks a lot more textured than it normally does, especially throughout my jaw here, and then throughout the inner parts of my cheeks. Up next, I'll be going in with the Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Beauty one. I don't know why I keep saying Charlotte Tilbury when it's going to be a full face of Charlotte Tilbury. I'm going in with the Hollywood Beauty Light Wand in pink. This is their limited edition Disney 100 collaboration. I'm going to do this along the cheeks, and then I'll go in with concealer. So once again, it's that same wand packaging of that squeezy tube with the sponge applicator. I'm not big on these sponge applicators, but I know that they're kind of Charlotte's thing. Make sure that there's enough of that coming through. I'm going to take this and I'm going to go right along the cheek on top of our contour wand. This definitely has a little bit of a shimmery metallic feel to it, so we'll see if that enhances a ton of texture. I'm going to go in Makeup by Mario F4 brush, and I'm going to go ahead and just start to blend that in. This color is really pretty. I like that it's definitely that softer pinky. Oh, I like that it's not enhancing a ton of texture. I really like that color, actually. Yeah, I really like that color. I am going to go in and do my concealer next, so that'll soften out that line under the eye here. Cute! Up next, I'm going in with the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Concealer. This is the shade 1. I've used this concealer many, many times. I really like this. The only thing that I have an issue with is sometimes I feel like when I use too much powder in this, you can see once it's set that there's a shimmer particle to this concealer a little bit. I know this is a lot of concealer. I like the center of my face to be extremely bright. That's my one of my signature things when it comes to my makeup. So we're going to do just kind of this little mask of brightness in the center of the face. I did buy one of the Charlotte Tilbury airbrush pressed powders in Fair. I'll be using that to set all over. I wasn't able to get like a translucent powder, so I am going to be using my regular old translucent powder. This is a mix of Anastasia and Makeup Forever that we'll be using under the eyes once this is blended in. I really like the coverage that this concealer brings. I feel like it's really beautiful. It really brightened up through the center of the face. Look at how radiant my complexion is. This is crazy, especially because this foundation has been sitting on for, I've been filming for what, 25 minutes, and this foundation is still like really dewy all over. I'm going to go ahead and just set the concealer with some translucent powder, and then we'll set the rest with the Airbrush Flawless Finish pressed complexion powder. This powder I have used before. I've used a couple full minis, and then when I was actually traveling and doing makeup, I would bring these powders because I really liked the refills and I love the finish of this. So we're going to take this on my big powder brush. This is an IT Cosmetics brush, and I'm going to use it just to kind of set around the face so the makeup isn't super tacky or sticky to the touch. And then I am going to just kind of tap over the edge of that original contour wand. This is what the complexion looks like all set down. I'm going to be honest, it's very, very, very smooth. It's very smooth. Let's start going in with some powders. Next up, we're going in with the Film Star Bronze and Glow Duo. Once again, I've used this before and I really like this bronzing shade. I'm going to go ahead and use the sculpting shade. I really like that as a bronzer, especially for fair skin. It's fairly neutral. It doesn't have a ton of crazy orange to it, and I really like how it applies with a big fluffy brush. This is an IT Cosmetics Live Beautifully Flawless Blush Brush. I love this for bronzing. And then I'm going to take a little bit on the nose. I am going to contour my nose with my regular contouring powder because I don't have like a really suitable Charlotte alternative for that. But this complexion looks so beautiful and so glowy. Like, it looks really healthy. Something we don't do often over in my space is brows with a pencil, but we are trying the Charlotte Tilbury Brow Cheat in the shade Black Brown. I like to do my brows quite a bit darker. I also like to do my mustache a little bit darker. I think it really stands out, especially against my scalp micropigmentation since I don't have any hair. But you are going to watch me do some really good little pencil brows and see what we can make happen. And I'm going to take the little skinny side. I'm going to try to do a couple of my little fake hairs. I typically do this with a pen. So I feel like that's a little more precise when I'm able to do it that way. But we're just going to pop on a couple little fake hairs at the front here. Honestly, for not having done fully pencil brows in what feels like 5 billion years, I think they look pretty good. Now that we have the brows done, I'm just going to go ahead and do a quick little eye look. I do have a Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow palette, but it's all blues, and I think I want to do a dedicated TikTok on that. So if you, once again, don't follow me on TikTok, I will have it here on the screen. I'm going to go back in with the Film Star Bronze and Glow Duo. We are going to use that sculpting shade with the Charlotte Tilbury eye blender brush. We're going to do like a quick little neutral looking eye. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of that sculpting shade, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start to slightly work it through the crease of my eye. So you can see it's giving us just a little bit of warmth and definition there. I'm going to go in with the Pillow Talk Multi Glow. We're going to use this on the cheek and on the eye for a little bit of sheen. This product is super stunning and gorgeous. You can see that like fun little glitter. The product itself is super, super glowy. I think I'm going to use this shade and this shade on the eye. Super natural, neutral eye. We're going in with the Feline Flick liner in Super Brown. I like the component of this. I like that it has the little spot to hold. It's a super precise felt tip. I really like felt tip liners personally. We're just going to take this right along the lash line. give it a fill. And then I'm just going to take this for a slight little wing at the corner. And then I'm just going to fill that in as well. I like to take just like a little extra, so it's not super crazy for this look at least. It's just going to give us a little extension. I'm just going in and curling my lashes. This is the Exaggerize Volume Mascara. This mascara, I don't know if you've ever felt this. This mascara is extremely heavy. It's a glass bottle. It's supposed to be super, super volumizing. I have not tried this before. I do like the shape of the brush. It's really similar to the mascara that I typically use that has the same kind of shape brush. Wipe the tip off so we don't get any little smudgies. And then we're going to use this. I'm going to start off with one coat on the top lashes. It's a little bit of a drier formula, which I personally like, a little bit of a drier formula mascara that you can kind of build on. One coat. You can see my lashes showing through. I don't have a ton of lashes, but I just like them to look nice and dark. I am going to end up going in with just some falsies because I know myself and I know I love to wear falsies with my makeup, but this is the second coat of mascara. You can see that this does give a really beautiful volume. You can still see that my lashes are looking nice and separated while they're still volumized, so that it's not super clumpy. I added just a little bit of like a dark brown shadow underneath. I'm going to go pop on my falsies and then we'll get ready to do the final touches. Lashes are on and we did our lower lash mascara, so we have just this like cute little cat eye moment. We're going to do the rest of the cheek. This is the Blush and Glow palette. We're going to use the blush in here and then we're going to use the multi-glow on the rest of the cheek for that little bit of highlighting. All right, we are going in with Lip Cheat in the shade Iconic Nude. I'm going to go ahead and do just a good old nude lip. I have a couple options, but we're taking Iconic Nude and we're going to do our lip liner. We're going in with one of my all-time favorite lipsticks ever, Kim KW. This is such a beautiful peachy nude. It's like that classic Kim nude. We're going to be topping the lip off with the Plumpgasm Nudegasm Diamonds. This is an extremely plumping gloss. It has this like diamond tip applicator. I now own this in all three shades it comes in. This is one of the like most tingly plumping glosses that I've ever tried. We're going to give it a second to start plumping up and then I'm going to redefine the edges with our lip pencil. We're going to go ahead and finish off with the Airbrush Flawless Setting Mist. I love this spray. I think I have 2 or 3 backups. I also have a bunch of minis. This is one of my all-time favorites. I love to keep one in my bag. I love the way it feels. It's super, super hydrating. We're going to give that a second. I will get a little closer so you can see what the complexion looks like. It's time for final thoughts. The complexion looks really nice. I think that once I got everything kind of settled in, I do feel like the color match was a little bit more spot on. I love the way the cheeks look. I am obviously not the biggest fan of the brows just because I'm not personally a pencil-only brow person. The liner was easy to work with. I really love the lip combo. I think the cheeks look great. The bronzing was nice. I don't know if I'm going to keep the contour one if I'm being 100% honest, but let's go through and go product by product and then give our final thoughts. Charlotte's Magic Cream, I do really enjoy. I'm going to keep using this until it's empty because this was expensive, but I also do really like the way it worked. Hollywood Flawless Filter for a Superstar Youth Glow. I do also like, I'm going to continue to use this as my prep step in my makeup. Unreal Skin Sheer Tint. I may use this on like day off makeup or something lightweight if I'm planning on going anywhere. It was a little too sheer coverage for my personal liking, but it did look really nice on the skin. Now that I've found and used the Beautiful Skin foundation, I do really like it. I think this layered really beautifully with the other products. This is a foundation that I'm gonna probably continue to use. I do like the color match on this. I also feel like it looked really nice once it set down. At the end, I'll go out and you'll be able to see my makeup in natural lighting and see what it looks like with real sunlight. But I do really like the way this wore. I did really like the shade of the blush wand in pink. I think that I'll continue to use this. The contour wand still isn't my personal favorite product. I think if you go for something that's a little bit more of your kind of everyday natural or like a subtle glam, this is a good product for you. I think this would be good for me on my natural days, but on my more full glam days, I don't think it's personally quite enough for me, especially since I typically underpaint under my foundation. So I do unfortunately think that this one may be going back to the store. Airbrush Flawless is a powder that I do enjoy. I have a couple other powders that I'm going to use first, so this one will sit in my makeup drawer for a while, but it will get some use. Brush and Glow and Bronze and Glow, I'm going to go ahead and hold on to. I think that these are really great travel staples. I don't do a ton of traveling, but I do really like how those products work, so I will continue to use them. Brow Cheat Micro Precision Pencil. I do like how it turned out. I'm not personally a full pencil brow person, but I do use brow pencils every day. If I'm doing like my brow pen throughout, I'll do pencil in the front or I'll do pencil and pomade, so I am going to continue to use that one. The Feline Flick Liner, I do really like how it applied. I always love a good brown liner for a day that I'm not feeling super crazy glam. So this one is going to definitely make it into the rotation of brown liner. The lip combo, Iconic Nude, I definitely will continue to keep in the rotation. Kim KW is one of my all-time favorite lipsticks that will also stay in the rotation. And this new Plumpgasm in the Nude Gasm Diamonds, I really like how glossy and shiny it is. It definitely, I feel like once that kind of like tingly wore off, I do think it's a really nice gloss. Like I said, I do have the other shades of this, so this is also going to continue to keep in the rotation. Airbrush Flawless, one of my go-tos for a little bit of rehydration and a little bit of that glow all over. I have probably repurchased 6 of these. I'm going to continue to repurchase these. I actually did get a couple of minis that I'm going to be doing a giveaway for, so go ahead and follow my Instagram and you'll be able to see when that comes along. Lastly, I'm going to go in. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Cosmic Power fragrance. We are going to go ahead and do a little mist of this. The bottle is super cute. I love the little moon. I'm in my purple era. We're going to go ahead and do a little spritz of this onto our wrists. Give it a little warmth. So this has black pepper oil. It has cinnamon bark. This is rose. It's definitely a little bit more woodsy than I typically go with fragrance. You know, I am a gourmand girly. I do like the warmth that this gives, and I do like the feeling that this has. It's very sexy. It's very warm. It's very empowering. I feel like it matches this makeup look really well. This is what our full face of Charlotte Tilbury looks like at the end. Thank you so much for watching. I feel stunning and gorgeous. I'm going to go ahead and step outside so you can see in natural lighting. This is natural lighting outside.